This is Into Vietnam, bringing you the latest and most comprehensive updates on Vietnam's economy throughout the past week. Every week, we cover the trends within the macroeconomy and investment landscape and what investors can expect going forward. We'll have that and more in the first part of our program, and after that, Talk With Us, a regular feature with foreign entrepreneurs in the contemporary Vietnamese economy, our guest, who will give us further insight into Vietnam's aviation industry.
Welcome to Talk With Us. It's my pleasure to have Mr. David Smith, President of SLA Studioland. Mr. Smith, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, could you please tell us about your company and the purpose of your visit to Vietnam this time?
SLA is a urban planning and landscape architectural firm. Our work involves large-scale commercial mixed-use residential developments primarily. We also have a very large practice in aviation-related work, both landside and airside development. The purpose of my trip to Vietnam is to meet with the other team members and coordinate the work we're doing, to meet with the government and share our proposals with the government, and to visit the site and look at the site and compare the site to some of the plans we've developed to see how well we're doing.
So is this your first time in our country?
No, I've been in Vietnam a couple of times. I was first here in 1993, and I'm now back, and I've seen quite a large amount of change and some great changes in Vietnam during that period.
What do you think about the current situation of the aviation infrastructure of Vietnam?
Vietnam is really poised in a very interesting position, in my view, historically, with regard to aviation infrastructure. Much of its aviation infrastructure is very aged. When I say obsolete, I don't mean to suggest that it doesn't work, but rather that the changes in the industry have been dramatic, and much of what the existing infrastructure that I've seen in Vietnam needs dramatic updating. While that's a problem today, it's a tremendous opportunity as well. It's not only a tremendous opportunity for the development community and the government, but it's an opportunity for the nation in terms of repositioning itself as a competitor in global economic development.
So how do you see the business opportunities of your company in Vietnam?
I'm optimistic. I feel that the capabilities that my firm has match well the needs of Vietnam. So there should be opportunities here for my company to work. There have been tremendous changes that have happened in Vietnam. There are a lot of reasons for that. The global economy, the position that Vietnam plays in that economy, the interest that international investors have in investing in Vietnam have dramatically improved, I believe, over the last 5 or 7 years. Consequently, I think that the infrastructure that is currently being contemplated, aviation being a very important part of that infrastructure, overall infrastructure, will trigger, I believe, significant development and improvement in Vietnam's urban forms and the development of their cities.
As I know, your company is playing a major role in the Nội Bài PPP project, I mean public-private partnership project. So could you please tell us more about your role in this project?
As a planner, one thing you have to be is flexible, because you're constantly dealing with the future, and with the future comes uncertainty. And so you have to maintain an ability to change and address needs as they arise. With regard to Nội Bài specifically, initially we were asked to develop some very broad brush concepts of how Nội Bài might be redeveloped and or developed in a manner that would transform it into a more competitive piece of aviation infrastructure. Today, that work has really become much more focused on the development of what we're calling the Nội Bài area district we see it as a district master plan, which is a form of what is referred to now as an aerotropolis. An aerotropolis being a mixed-use development with aviation as a component, a very important component, and a core component. Specifically, we have addressed future airport expansion with regard to additional runways, a greatly expanded air terminal facility that will ultimately have the capacity to serve approximately 65 million passengers a year. Today, you're running about 10 or 12 million passengers through. So we're talking about a 50-year, 60-year growth plan with 6 times the passenger capacity and probably equal as much greater demand or accommodation of cargo as well as passengers. We're looking at an area to develop technical training and an educational center that would be support the aviation industry that builds up around the airport, logistics parks that would provide air cargo and materials handling functions that would support the development, and what we call an airport city. An airport city being a more commercial mixed use. It's what we call the front door of the airport. Most people see the front door of the airport. They don't see, the back door or behind the scenes, which is a very real and important part of an airport. But the front door, where the commercial hotels, retail, office buildings. We call that Airport City. We're working on that as well. So those are the major components of the Airport District Master Plan.
From your point of view, what are the unique opportunities of Nội Bài project to Vietnam's aviation industry?
Yeah. In real estate, there's an expression, that value comes from 3 factors: location, location, and location. Those are the most important factors. And so it is, in a sense, in the case of Nội Bài. We didn't choose the location, so I can take no credit for where it's located. But because of where it's located and what's happening around it, there are some pretty interesting long-range opportunities. It sits on the north side of the city, which is historically a natural growth direction for cities. It has one of the components of the Trans-Asian Highway that will link numerous Asian countries, including China and Laos, and I believe Burma ultimately, with Vietnam and the ports in Vietnam. What that means is there's a tremendous amount of goods and services that it will be moving, providing for opportunities for further economic development, transshipment, multimodal shipping, manufacturing, warehousing. Additionally, there's a metro line being developed, planned and to be developed, linking Hanoi with the airport. Those 2 pieces of infrastructure are very critical to the development of Hanoi Airport, and as an aerotropolis, it will become one of the most important urban developments in all of Vietnam. In terms of its depth, its breadth, and its scale, it should be a tremendous asset for the nation.
So what do you think about the challenges?
I think one of the most important challenges that this airport represents and that national capital airports represent is that the airport is in a way the front door to a city for many people, and in this case, in a capital city airport, it's the front door to a nation. When people land in Hanoi, when they come, out of the air terminal and through the airport properties, that's their first impression of what Vietnam is and what Vietnam's about. And that impression wants to be as positive and as uplifting and beautiful as possible. And that's one of the challenges that we've undertaken, and I believe we've addressed, is to bring to this airport a sense of dignity and beauty that will be that the nation will be proud of and will inspire people when they come to Vietnam and have this impression of well-coordinated beauty and urban order. At least that's our vision and our hope.
Okay, thank you very much for your time with us.
Thank you, Mr. Harper.
That concludes our program this week. Thank you for watching. For comments and feedback, please send us an email at intovietnam@vitv.vn or give us a call at 04-2220-8288. Thank you and see you next time.